truth. And this has been part of my standard content, like things that I've been getting into in live streams over the years, is working to show the hidden plain view truth, being like the guy with the They Live glasses, you know, that movie They Live, a guy one that can see. So that's the type of person I've been. And like in the Matrix, you can see the code in the Matrix system. So you live in a Matrix system. This world is described as a Matrix system, where it's a false reality construct. That most people are blind to, which why it makes you rare to be what they can see. So not only am I rare in my ability, but I'm also handsome. So that should make human beings value what I'm doing. If I keep being both of those things on camera. So anyway, it's the point. So hidden in plain view truth. I'm one that can see. Okay. I'm like the guy in the daily movie that can see. For real. And my haters go back and watch. It's crazy. You don't like it when I prove it. That I show you movies and show you the plain view truth, where I can see the truth in society, the media, Hollywood movies, music videos, the other people are blind to. Yeah, I'm the daily guy with the glasses. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking about it, or at least possibly showing literally a hidden in plain view truth in this matrix system that you find yourself in. So 9/11 was foreshadowed. If you haven't heard about the 9/11 attacks, you must be on their walk. But 9/11 was foreshadowed, which means the satanic deep state Illuminati that control America from behind the scenes, and Trump is a puppet to them, as all presidents are. Oh, how can you say that? Yes, the emperor's not roles. Presidents are puppets. Hideo Kojima hid that in one of his video games, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 1, one of the cutscenes, where it's like the president. It's like, well, you heard about the true real power lies in the hands of the patriots. I'm just a figurehead, a puppet. It's the patriots that control the country. That's hidden plain view truth. It's one of these things. I count it as an instance of hidden plain view truth in pop culture. So I've got it more general because it's pop culture. Notice how the guy in the daily movie, his abilities, he can see the truth in pop culture. Reference symbolized by news paper headlines and billboards. Other people see like go on a vacation to Bahamas, like care about sex and entertainment and something like this. There's a hidden message, hidden beneath the surface layer. So discerning things and understanding things, it's division. Like you cut an onion and there's multiple layers, and you have to cut the onion, you have to stab the multiple layers. So the mind is the instrument that cuts when I watch the movies. See? Empowered by Bible verses. Hebrews 4:12. The word of God is swift and powerful, sharper the sword of the spirit, the word of God. So that's a cutting instrument. And that has helped me to have discernment, to be able to perceive the words of my dark sayings. aka riddles, they said in the New King James, which is garbage. But riddles can fall to the category of dark sayings. So the reason I'm able to perceive these words of the wise dark sayings in Hollywood movies, that's another thing I've come to realize. That it's describable. I had to invent my own language in terms of things because I'm seeing things and talk about stuff that nobody else is doing with them. So I had to invent my own terms and figure out how to explain things. It's like explaining smells to a person that has no olfactory sense. They burnt the nerves in the nose. It's like explaining smells to them, something like this. So what is the point? God communicates with words of the wise dark sayings. Words of the wise dark saying as communication. Where if you look at Samson had a riddle that he put forth, and if you expound it to 30 sheets of silver, something's like an reward. And that was a foreshadow referencing Jesus Christ. For as Jonah spent 3 days and 3 nights, so was the Son of Man. So God has been operating like this. Where it's like Isaiah 53. It's like referencing something that has yet to happen. And then in hindsight, some people will be like, I see it, I cracked the riddle. This was like a cryptic hint of the coming Messiah that people have many people read this chapter but not seen like, oh, it's the Jesus, like the whole movies that I watch, blockbusters like all kind of old man. And to my knowledge, I'm the only guy that I see some hidden truth in here. This hidden truth in this movie, the sugar agenda, the satanic deep state. What is the hidden message? The satanic deep state, satanic psychopathic power elites, Anton Chigurh represents them. The satanic psychopathic serial killer power elites. And they're causing a lot of deaths with sugar. They've gathered the masses on a high sugar diet, resulting in a lot of deaths yearly. Okay, that's a big part of the message I see there. And I can go from memory and give it to you again. So, sugar is a silent killer. See, it's a double entendre. Sugar is a silent killer. See, your grandfather who died of a heart attack. Most likely the mortician they put down cause of death, sugar or something like this. But the truth is, if he had been eating a high sugar diet for 10 years, most likely he never would have had a heart attack. He never would have gotten a root canal either. If he had eaten a high sugar diet that caused a tooth infection, he presents at a dental clinic to give a root canal. He keeps living with, possibly becomes infected. Now that's not the main issue. The main issue is he eats a high sugar diet and later on he dies of a heart attack or stroke. And that most likely would not have happened if he hadn't been eating a high sugar diet all these years. Because people that are fat are more likely to get a heart attack or stroke, like all-cause mortality. People that are fat, obese, are more likely to die of a heart attack, for sure, and I think possibly stroke as well. On the base of being fat, no. Okay. Because it's harder work for them, and they're labored, and they're hard. And also, people that are overweight got their weight by eating unhealthy, okay? So they've been putting a lot of unhealthy stuff in their bodies to give them inflammation and things like this. So here's the point. No California movie. Here's the kind of dry, quick truth that I see in that movie. Anton Chigurh represents the satanic elites that did 9/11 and control Hollywood and the music industry. He represents the psychopathic power elite Illuminati that are serial killers. Okay, literally, because there's been a series of killing by these psychopathic people. 9/11, they caused that. Thousands of people died. See. After that, thousands of people died in the Iraq-Afghanistan wars. Series of killings. They have been working to deceive the masses to make bad health choices. People have been dying yearly as a result of succeeding in this intention. See? So there's been a series of killings by these people that are psychopathic. So Chigurh represents the satanic power of the Illuminati. Okay? Who use silent killers. Sugar is a silent killer. There's many people that die every year. That's a big chunk of, like, if you're gonna make sense of why is it so few people live to be 120 now? Why is America not a country for old men, a country of centennials, as Japan has been traditionally, where a lot of people in the population get to 100 years old or more? Well, in big part to the high sugar diet, high sugar, candy, cookies, soft drinks. A lot of people are eating a high sugar diet, cookies, candy bars, ice cream, McDonald's with a dessert. Like most people have a fast food meal, they have an ice cream or there's a soda as a part of the meal, liquid sugar. So basically, not to get bogged down in details, but I'm saying sugar is the silent killer, okay? And then I can work to make it less of an assertion and more like a plain fact by argument. But basically, that's what I'm saying. Sugar is a silent killer. There's many people that die every year because of sugar. If you remove that out of the equation, high sugar lifestyle, they would have been alive still. There's many people that die every year that if that one thing would have changed, they would have gone from a high sugar diet to a low sugar diet, they would still be alive, understand? John Q. Public, who died the last year, 12 months, he would have been alive if he would have got off the high sugar diet and to a low sugar diet 6 years ago. It'd be like Mike said, all that fast, less than 2 grams of sugar per day. You have more people reaching 100 if they did only that part of what I'm doing. Eat once a day, low carb, high fat, low sugar. Okay. Fasting 20 hours a day, eating a low sugar diet. What do you eat less than 20 grams of sugar per day? As opposed to 88 plus grams the average American consumes according to statistics. So, no California movie. Anti-sugar represents the satanic power of the Illuminati. And one of the main weapons, sugar. Now notice how one of the scenes is Llewellyn in the hospital, and it's like a hint. Same thing that I caught in the Die Hard movie, a reference. Where it's like at one point in the dialogue, this guy who plays like a bounty hunter, he goes, sugar. He asks him, do you know who's out there at sugar? He's like, sugar? Who's this? Sugar. So Llewellyn calls anti-sugar sugar. S-U-G-A-R. And then the other guy corrects him, no, sugar. Okay. See? But in the dialogue, the transcript, this character is called explicitly, plainly, by mistake, sugar. Okay, clearly, explicitly called sugar, referred to as sugar. The other guy, no, it's called sugar. Okay, but that's part of the hint. That's a hint. Okay. Sugar causes inflammation in the body, destructive to human health. Fire. So he sets fire to a car. And there's a pharmacy too. There's also part of it. He goes into the pharmacy. A lot of people end up going to the pharmacy because their body vehicle, the car, so-called, has had destructive fire inflammation started by sugar. See? So sugar sets fire to cars out of a pharmacy and goes to the pharmacy. So that's how a lot of people end up in the pharmacy. There's a destructive inflammation in the body of an American. They end up going to fulfill prescriptions for health problems at a pharmacy because they've had high inflammation, sugar being a cause of high inflammation for many years. So their body, and your body is like a car where your soul is the driver. Your soul inhabits your body. You are not your body. A man having a body is a creature. Okay, you are not your body. So when I die, my soul goes to heaven. When a person's body starts being alive, their soul goes to one of two places for eternity. And for most people, that's hell. Okay, so which is like the true self, the most important part of me is my soul that inhabits this vessel, this earthen vessel, this body for some time. And if this earthly tabernacle was dissolved, after for the body present with the Lord in my case, which means if my body dies, my soul jumps out and goes to heaven. See? Which is like a driver getting in a car. See? You're not your car, you're the driver, you're inside of the car. Something can happen to the car that kills the car, but the driver stays alive. Or you can exit the vehicle. See? So a car is like a metaphor or something like this that can be used to symbolize a human body. It's a vehicle that you use to transport yourself. I'm not a spirit floating around here to go somewhere. So it's like I'm inside of a body and I use my body to move around, manipulate orbits and get somewhere. I can't like astral project, like fly through the sky, okay? So sugar is shown to set fire to a car and it goes to pharmacy, okay? They're showing you what happens. Sugar causes inflammation in human bodies. Keep this going. Eventually there's a crash, a crisis, health crisis, that leads to the person going to pharmacy to acquire some big pharma drugs. That's what I'm seeing Deacon in that scene, where he, as a ruse, sets fire to a car, it blows up, and then it goes to the pharmacy to get some big pharma stuff. See? That's what I'm seeing in there, okay? And there's gonna be multiple layers. So, the reason why America is not a country for old men, where a lot of people live to be 120, 125 or something, is because of a high sugar diet. It's like, it's got to be complicated, so many things are wrong, but it's like that one thing, if you remove high sugar diet, you'd have a lot more people make it to be 90, 100, okay? Sugar causes inflammation. Inflammation makes you age faster. Inflammation makes your organs decay faster, which means if your body, your heart is subject to inflammation, it gets corrupted, you can have a problem. If your organs are inflamed. So here's another thing about health fitness. If something gives you inflammation, it's bad for your health. If something lowers inflammation, it's natural at the same time. It's good for your health. The simple truth, after many years studying things, it's like health fitness is like inflammation, oxidative stress. So it's like all my health fitness coaching I give to people is good advice that will heal and strengthen people. All of my advice, even if I don't tell you, is going to be work to lower inflammation in your body. Less sugar, less inflammatory, toxic, chemical, hygiene products. See? vitamin C, and anti-inflammatory antioxidant. Put that in there. So all the advice is going to be geared towards lowering inflammation in the body, and you'll be healthier and less likely to die and get sick as a result. So inflammation, oxidative stress disease is like go hand in hand. Okay. So you want to produce disease and death, you cause inflammation. If you want to reduce it, combat it, counteract it, you work to lower it. Okay. Why do you think I take vitamin E, an anti-inflammatory antioxidant? More or less synonymous, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Vitamin C, ALA, alpha-lipoic acid, N-acetylcysteine. If you knew what I knew, it's like, it's majoring on antioxidant, anti-inflammatory supplements. NAC, ALA, vitamin C, vitamin E, so on and so forth. Turmeric, ginger. So, here's the point. No cut full movie, decoded once more. Sugar represents the power leads and the actual little substance sugar, which is one of the things they've gotten the masses to attack themselves with. Okay, which is part of the reason why America's not cut for men anymore. And it's like many chains. If you get them that have health problems, they turn to big pharma drugs. Big pharma drugs is one of the leading cause of death in America too. It's top 10 things that kill people yearly. Top 10 cause of death, like yearly, what people die from. One of the top causes of death is big pharma drugs, take as prescribed. Many people get put on a big pharma drug, they take as prescribed, and side effects, complications, people die from it. I'm not saying you should take medicines, okay? I'm not saying if you take medicine, you should stop taking. I'm saying it's a fact of reality that one of the leading causes of death in America and Sweden is big pharma drugs, where people have a complication. So that's the point. Who by faith perceive the words of wise and dark sayings, of whom the world was not worthy. You're out here dying, being sick, less like to make it to 100, looking worse, and I'm doing you a favor by graciously spending time teaching these things to you. That matters, price of tea in China, could save you or a loved one from dying. Okay. I've already talked about tooth infections and high sugar being connected. That in and of itself is something the world needs to hear. Okay. But Mike is putting all this work and we're just going to hate on him. Yeah, I don't give a shit. God will reward what I'm doing. God will reward things that I do that he for being down. Okay. God rewards things that people do that he wants done. Okay. And a lot of people work to interfere with this work. Good luck. Okay. Anyway, support. Mike, notice the world system, the thief come out for kill, steal, destroy. So this world system is set up to kill people, and I'm working against that. That's also part of godliness. You all live God suffer persecution. Those are the person that shows rare discernment and the ability to see the truth and end up fighting against murder and things like this, ends up being persecuted. A person stands out in having more wisdom, Bible knowledge, and things like this. That's also the persons out here claiming to be persecuted. The Bible says, yea, all that live godly shall suffer persecution. The thief coming up for to kill, to steal, to destroy. I am come that I might have life and have more abundantly. Jesus said. See, and that's what I've been doing. Okay, see. But you people that are not Paul, other Christians that are pew warmers, you're not working to sabotage Satan's and on murdering children, give people cancer. Okay. Or teaching Christians how to prosper in health when Satan is working to destroy them. And you're not also getting persecuted. See? And you're not knowing the Bible well. See? And you have food addictions and porn addictions, most of you Christian men. And see? And I'm kind of rare that I'm not like this. And I'm also rare that I'm being persecuted. And the Bible says the more God live, you got to be persecuted. They all live godless, not persecution. So some people are so blind, they think the only thing that they can see is like living God. It's like giving the gospel or something like this. It has to be that clear for them to see. Because they can't think, see? They can't think and be like, well, the world system is set up to kill, steal, destroy. The Bible says the Savior is the God of this world. And what else do I remember in my brain that the Bible has said about Satan? The thief comes up to kill, steal, and to destroy. Oh, Mike is working to fight against this agenda. I can see why he's being persecuted being this type of person. They can see, no. I have to think for you, because most of people can't think for yourself. So if I want you to have the output of a mind that can perceive truth, I had to borrow my brain to you and give you the output of a brain that works. as intended. Okay, you don't have a chance to perceive the truth that I can. So the only way you can get certain truths and insights is by me using my brain that can't see truth in society and then share the output with you. Because you can't have a brain transplant and a soul transplant and end up being like this, mostly. So here's the point. No cut from a movie. Anti-sugar represents the substance sugar. Okay, here's a scene. Sugar goes into Texaco gas station, and there's a clerk there. And he goes, how much? 69 cents. When I watch the video, I go, if I pause this, I had an impulse, and search facts on sugar, stats. I'm sure there'll be something about 1069, like, okay. And I go, advent of sugar, Google. And it's like 1069. So it was either like brought to the West, 1069, some major historical fact connected to sugar is 69. As I thought, see, possibly Holy Spirit. Because I already had like the first, this is the same with Die Hard. It's happened like when I decode things. I see a movie, I have an intuitive perception, there's some hidden truth in here, and it's like sometimes like a vague outline where it's like it's something about this, and then I watch the movie again, now looking for it, and sure enough, it's like, here's the scene, yes, it's in there, and then I watch it again, I discover when it rains and pours. When I watch it again, I discover new things. So here's another scene. Once I see, I think that this guy represents sugar. There's some kind of hidden part about sugar, the substance in some kind of from the movie. I watch it again. It's like, and now I find, oh, here's a scene that kind of confirms what I can perceive in there. So there's a scene where Llewellyn goes into, Shigeru goes into Texaco gas station, and it puts on candy up, you know, how much? 69 cents. As I watch it, I already know watch this movie, there's some sugar truth in here. And I go, pause the movie. If I go, I'm sure this, if I Google this, there's going to be some number connected to sugar, 69. It's going to show up. And in my mind, it's like the advent of sugar. I typed it in, sure enough, 69 something. Like 10, it brought to the West, 1069 introduced or extracted, or some major like historical fact regarding sugar is the number 69, 1369 or 1169 or 1069, some historical date 69. So the sugar 69. Here's another thing. When Shigeru is in the hotel room, the devil's in the details, it's like. He's in a hotel room. This is what do the Bible Church and Banner Holthouse and Andy Woods fear Christians find in my channel, because I'm doing something that none of these fake sellouts is allowed by the slave masters to do, because there's an agenda to keep people ignorant to this. They don't have the ability and are not allowed to, by the taskmasters, fable to do this. See, they're not allowed to. I don't live asking permission by the satanic deep state about what I'm going to do or not. So anyway, here's the point. They have been overcome and brought into bondage by the same man that overcame them. See, Satan overcame these people. They're defeated. They're broken and defeated. Pucci Jones, Tom Segal, Eddie Woods, Brandon, they're defeated. But the same man is overcome, brought into bondage. Yeah, see? So it's like they've been bound. They're bound. Okay? They got like cuffs on them. And they're holding by the cords of wickedness because they've been doing dirt for Satan. So they got blackmail on them. See? So it's like they're holding by the cords of wickedness. Okay? They've cast in the Lord and have one purse. Okay? My son is enticed. They never read the Bible, I guess. Okay? Now they're having the part of a group to work to persecute people and murder God's children, things like this. And you see. So is everyone this greed of gain, which take away, they lie away for their own lives. They look privilege for their own lives, you see. So it's like, yeah, good luck, guys. Good luck. You gotta have healthy, blessed lives up ahead of you, huh? Notice me. I have blessings. Despite Satan being out to get me persecuted by the deep state, being a target of gang stalking, I still remain stronger and fitter and in better shape than the average man my age in this country, despite the persecution. That's a blessing of God, see. So anyway, here's the point. The Die Hard movie contains foreshadowing of 9/11 too, of 9/11. So notice how I have the ability to see hidden plainly truth. Die Hard movies. This is dangerous truth, because it holds the keys to unlock seeing the world as what it really is to the Matrix masters. Where it's like if Mike is right, that means there's some kind of conspiracy where there's a dark group controlling both the Hollywood music industry and the media, and like what I was saying was, the deep state control everything, the media, the music industry, the movie industry. Because look at 9/11 as an event, foreshadowing Hollywood movies, the media being used to problem resolution, the problem being foreshadowing Hollywood movies, the media being complicit in guiding the reaction, and then politicians provide the solution. Notice how what I've been saying is true. The deep state control politicians, they control the movie industry and the media. See, that's why this is so dangerous. Why 9/11 is still the issue. As what is the name? Richard Gage talks about. Okay, yeah. One of the chances there had a guy called Andy Steele, working for Aiming That Level Truth. So when he used to be streaming on YouTube, by the way. Now I'm sorry, I'm still seeing details, okay, that most people aren't blind to in everything. Because I'm the guy with the glasses for real, not just saying that because it feels good to say it. Okay. So 8911 Truth, Richard Gage talk about steel girders and poking holes in official store with explosive truth. His sidekick is Andy Steele. Okay. And maybe next time the Masons can make the head of the Sacramento Fire Department called a word in Greek that means fighter or fire or something like this. Or okay, if you look at the name meaning of the guy who's like the chief of the fire department in America or something like this, it's like water or something like this. He who fights with water or something like this. And they could have that guy run the department next, or in the Freemason, all the ones on stage, and they have all these little players. And that's another thing. That's like a sidebar here with the name patterns. Okay, with name patterns. Media monarchy, Meghan Markle. Okay, Mitch McConnell. We really want to get into things like this. Meghan Markle, Mitch McConnell, media monarchy. Okay, things like this. Mason. Okay, here's another thing. The Masons. MM33. Okay. Here's another scene. The Fight Club movie. Where is my mind? Where is my mind? The Pixies. They have a scene where there's a man and a woman standing, and they're beholding a controlled demolition of buildings out the window. Here's the scene. They're holding hands, and I notice the detail. I can see what I can see. That they make the letter M as they stand like that. Like Mason, like Master Mason. See? So they're standing, a woman and a man holding hands, looking at the controlled demolition of a building outside. And they're opposites, male, female, opposite sexes, Joaquin Boaz, North Tower, South Tower, black, white, thick, thin. See? Oh, we got one that can see. Maybe that's what Mike's targeted. Like the guy in the movie who gets stalked in the supermarket girls. See, we got one that can see. And did you know what happened to me before I became this type of person that can see things like this and make videos teaching this? I became a Christian, much like the person in the Daily movie, where one part of the plot it talks about getting saved, basically. That's part of the movie. But there's some dialogues where it's like, when I was a boy or a teenager, my dad took me down to the lake, preached the gospel to me, and I got baptized or something like this. So it's something like that. Where it's like, that character is a Christian. See? So before he became one that can see, he got saved. See? So notice they're referencing the type of person that I am, because the matrix system architects know that every generation, maybe one person becomes like me or Daily movie. And most people become the radio station sellout, or this cipher in the Matrix movie, Joe Blow, whatever his name is. They draw back out the perdition, but we are not of those that draw back out the perdition. See, I know it's fake, but I want to go back. The leaks of Egypt. See, we had it better before we got liberated. See, Mike is once again proving that everything has been said about himself. I'd be like, Mike's a narcissist. He says and thinks and claims to be all, yeah, because you don't watch the videos where I'm doing things like this. Okay, that was the point. I've also been called that the Matrix movie. Neo's a Christian. Okay, Neo's a Christian. So, investigating this hidden plain view truth about 9/11 being foreshadowed, There's a pattern identified there, which is why this ties into what I talk about. It's dangerous if people are not being like me. And you need to have pattern recognition recall ability, meaning not a weak brain, okay, a functioning, powerful brain to be able to do things like this, okay? Unless you have like AI now, maybe the average Joe can start doing things like this aided by technology, okay? So if you don't want people to wake up, so Mike doesn't have to make videos, wake up, look at this, okay? If everybody's like that, okay, so what is it? It's pattern recognition and recall ability, like memory, be able to connect the dots is what makes me able to do things like this, like in the natural, like brain power, okay? So if you want to control the world and not have people be like me and like wake up to the truth and see the truth in society, you want it to be weak brain, so have them eat a high sugar diet and remain deficient in vitamin C and also and they walk around being mentally cloudy. That's how it works. So when I look at the instances of foresight of 9/11 in Hollywood, a pattern I recognize there is duality. And the Freemasons, do my research on this. The Freemasons, so to me it looks like a Freemasonic sacrifice ritual. See? The Freemasons have two pillars, Jacqueline and Boaz. So the two pillars with human names, like names of humans, Jacqueline and Boaz. Okay? Jacqueline Phoenix. Maybe it's just accident end up being in the world system in Hollywood. His dad is not a Mason or something like this. I wouldn't be surprised to put it like that. I don't have a problem, but it's like, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay? It's like, okay, with a name like that, I want to name myself Satan incarnate, and I'd be surprised. I mean, I see something's wrong. Okay. Why is it? Okay. So, okay, here's the thing. Okay. So, in the Mason system, they have two pillars. Jacqueline and Boaz, two pillars with male names. This type of stuff at the onset when I had a phone with Ed, this made his fathers jealous of me, see? Like the coat of many colors in a brother. When they see Mike make videos like this, showing hidden truths, they get jealous. So that's part of it. People hate us because they're not able to do it themselves. See, I don't see Ed. Let them off to be blind, it's blind. I'm a seeing leader, which I can make videos like this. I don't see any other Christian teacher doing this. Like seeing the truth and teaching it. They're all blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, either they both should fall into the cancer ditch, into the high sugar lifestyle ditch. Because if you can't see the truth about how there's a war on human beings, you can't warn people, see? Let them alone, for they be blind leaders. The people have been following me, unless I could die of heart attack and strokes, because they've been following a seeing leader that's been getting them to less sugar, more vitamin C, avoid this, see? So following a seeing leader, you're not going to fall into the health problem ditch that people following blind leaders are going to fall into. Do you understand? Because like my wife fell back to the Lord. Now she's being taught by a seeing leader how to prosper be in health even as her soul prospers. Like less sugar, you need to take vitamin C, you have this health problem, you need to do this. And she prospers physically as a result. And she's less likely to have a certain health problem. If she could kept living the way she was before she met me, she's more likely to have a serious health problem now. Okay. So let them alone. Maybe blind is blind. If you're blind, you're blind, more fall to the ditch. So good luck to you pussies out there. They show up in prayer requests to a Bible church. Oh, we need to pray for this person. They're in the hospital with they had a stroke or something like this. Yeah, that's what you get for all these bad leaders. Okay. I've been out here for years. You could have listened to me. And you wouldn't have ended up in the fucking hospital to begin with. Oh, my cuss. Yeah, I cuss. So that's the point. With 9/11, when I see instances of foreshadow 9/11 whole movies, there's always this thing with duality as a pattern. And what have I learned? That in the Freemasonic system, big to them in like the esoteric, mystical, numerology and things like this, it's like the two pillars is big to them. And the two pillars are symbolizing opposites, okay? And it's a ritual, the unification of opposites. And make of himself of twain one new man. Satan is a counterfeiter. Jew, Gentile, unification of make of twain one new man. That's what I see. That's a deep enough now. Where it's like that Satan is a counterfeit, a copycat. So God communicates words of wise dark sayings like riddles, cryptically. And Satan in his world system is emulating God only to do evil instead of good, see? So it's like the same pattern, like cryptic hints about murders he's planning to pull off. Whereas God is in the business of men like me to be like cryptic hints to save human lives against Satan's plot. See, not Satan's like, yeah, I'm gonna like God use cryptic hints, words wise dark saying communication to hide my plans to murder thousands of people 9/11 in plain view. See, that's how he's using the same tool to do evil. That's the point. So to the Masons, there's like two pillars, Joachim and Boaz, which represent duality, opposites, okay? And this esoteric thing about rising like a phoenix out of ashes, see? So Joachim Phoenix. Anyway, that's the point. Now, 9/11, which was like a phoenix ritual, where you create chaos, and out of the ashes, the rubber rises a new world order, see? It's like a milestone on the new world agenda. It's like we create a crisis, probably actually order out of chaos. We create this crisis, fire and ashes, and then this one new World Trade Center rises out of it, and one milestone, one new world order. Patriot Act, Guantanamo Bay, make all these changes, and a war, see? So it's like a milestone, stepping stone on the new world agenda. So it's like a phoenix. That we create this fire, and then out of the ashes, we're like birthing something that we want birthed out of it. See, we set a fire, let it burn down, then we raise a new building that we want to have raised. So it's very ritualistic, 9/11. It's very ritualistic. And this is who your pastors serve. People who murdered satanic sacrifices of thousands of people in your country. That's who Andy would serve, that people under the Bible Church. That's the same, but we're good Christians for submitting to these people. The same people did 9/11 murdered thousands of people as a satanic sacrifice on 9/11. And your countries have been the same since. That's who you serve, buddy. That's who you do the Bible Church serve. And Andy Woods, and Brandon Holthouse, and other sellout pastors. Those psychopathic power elites that have been controlled the world since and murdered people in America. Domestic terrorism. You'll be fucking lynched by the founding fathers, by the way. All of you be hung and quartered. You're worthy of death, those who that sold out. You sellouts. Do you understand? Traitors against the Constitution, working as a group to undermine the Constitution in America. Does it ring a bell? What the founding fathers would be doing to you? And that's the truth. The Illuminati control America have been working in the shadows to undermine the Constitution and take liberties from Americans. And that murdering people to accomplish it on 9/11. See? Murdering people on 9/11 to take freedoms from American citizens. And you're living in this country, and you're not as passionate about this as I am living in Sweden, because you don't have the human spirit. You don't have the spirit of liberty, like freedom. You're like broken down, most of you. You're happy being a comfortable porn addict, sugar addict, sitting home watching TV all day. You don't care about things like this. So it's like that. In videos comes Facebook conspiracy so grand. Okay. So it's like, if you think about it, okay, it's like how wicked this is. How would the founding fathers react to this? The truth is 9/11 was done by the deep state, Illuminati, that control America today still. What was it done? What happened? Murdering thousands of Americans to take freedoms from Americans that the Constitution gave them. That's really something. And that's what the Bible Church leadership sold out to. The same deep state that murdered thousands of Americans on 9/11 and used that crisis to start a war in Iraq and Afghanistan. And Guantanamo, take freedoms, make America less American, take constitutional rights away. So it's like extraordinary. We want the government now. Let's forget about this founding father due process stuff. We're calling for having it be where the government can abduct people, put them in the black side without charging them with something. See? This is part of what they use this crisis to accomplish, these changes in society. See? That's what the Bible Church serve in Andy Woods, secretly, take orders. Which is why they help to target me. They target me because I'm a target of these people, And man's enemies has thought about him. I'm hated and targeted by the deep state, Epstein Island psychopaths who did 9/11 have a program targeting me, okay? And that's who these pastors work for. So whatever, here's the point. 9/11 was a fucking ritual, okay? So there's very ritualistic there. Jah, Queen, and Boaz, which are the two pillars of Freemasonry, which symbolize opposites. When I look at instances of foreshadow 9/11 in Hollywood movies, pop culture, before they did it, okay? Like hinting at 9/11 before they pulled it off in Hollywood movies. There's a pattern, there's opposites, see? There's like opposites. So, one instance, my own find, is the Allway movie, which is a firefighting plane movie, which is foreshadow 9/11, like Die Hard is. Now that's a unique find. Let's be looking at videos, probably like, whoa, I found another one. There's other people talking about, like The Simpsons and this. That's the point. That's a unique find to me. In that movie, they show foreshadow of the 9/11 attacks, and it was released in the 70s or 80s, something like this, before 9/11. They show you two men standing in an airfield. Okay, here's the scene. One fat guy, one thin guy, and then an airplane on a collision course with them, and they jump out of the way. This is symbolic of the coming 9/11 attacks. Where there's two towers, and then an airplane takes these towers out of the way, see? North-south tower, opposite directions. Fat guy, thin guy, opposite body types, see? What about the Fight Club movie I referenced? Male, female, controlled demolition of a building, holding hands in an M shape. Opposites, Masonic, Jah, Queen, Boaz, opposites, see? Opposite sexes, opposite body types, opposite skin colors, Die Hard, black and white man sit on a pile of explosives with handcuffs in New York. Opposites, that's a pattern that like, I always find that. When I find like an instance of foreshadow 9/11 before it happened in Hollywood movies, there's like the opposite patterns there. Male, female, black, white, thick, thin, okay? Why? Because in Die Hard, when they were warning about the coming 9/11 attacks that they had planned, the same people that control Hollywood, they're warning you about the coming out with the North and South Tower is going to be brought down by an airplane. That's the official story, surface level. There's going to be an airplane hitting the towers, and the towers are going to be out of the way. What are the towers? Not big. This is north, south, east, west, north, south, opposite directions. South, north, like opposite, north and south. It's not north and west. It's north and south, opposite, diametrically opposed, opposites. So the instances of foreshadowing of this event, there was two towers that are opposite, north and south tower, being brought down. When they're hinting at it, they use opposites. So in the Always movie, where they show two men, they need to have the opposites there, because they're going to hint at the coming destruction of the two towers are opposite direct weather paths. They're north-south, okay, by airplane. So the scene is a fat guy standing next to a thin guy, and an airplane comes at them, and they jump out of the way. See? Because they're referencing ahead of time the north and south tower, which is opposite directions. See? What about Die Hard? That's one of the ones I like to reference. Black and white man. Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson. Opposite skin colors. Fight Club. Where is my mind? There's a scene to stand kind of window. Spoiler alert. Holding hands. Male, female, opposite sexes. Opposite. There's a scene Fight Club. Woman and man holding hands look out the window at a controlled demolition of a building outside. And it's the Freemason M. When they're holding hands, you look at it, you see an M. Like how they're joining hands, it forms an M, like sign language, okay? See? So how they're holding hands, you can draw an M, which is Mason, Master Mason 33MM. Let's speak to them. The Masons. MM33. M3, okay, whatever. And that's the highest degree of Freemason, 33rd, allegedly. Master Mason, 33rd degree. So intimately connected Freemasonry is the number 33, and MM as an acronym. Meghan Markle, Mitch McConnell. Do you think it's a coincidence that on the world stage, major players, you see a lot of like MM initials show up? Media monarchy, or there's some change agent who's not controlled position, James Corbett, and his work with media monarchy. Okay, see, he's not a control opposition agent, James Corbett. That's not why he stopped calling Mike Stein the real demon shows up. Do you know that James Corbett did that? Narcissistic abuse on me. This is like the pastor's dude, because I'm the real deal. I show up here and start making conspiracy rants. James Corbett, check out his channel on that. He does this narcissistic always abuse tactic. Like one of the things like they don't want you healthy, you need to start making us vitamin C. And it goes like references what I'm talking about. Because you really show your man you drink them water. This is some kind of weird, bizarre stuff, okay? Yeah, so whatever. So here's the thing. Now they're trying to trigger me by liking and removing likes. This is the level like how trying to like sabotage my likes just because the chat is off. So they can't say like a mob of trolls in it, like get me triggered so I forget what I was going to teach or something like this. So now they're doing this, attacking it. But they send people to click the likes. I noticed the like count going up and then remove the like as a way to try to state manage me in real time as I'm making conspiracy videos. It's to that level. There are people like, we can no longer send mobs of trolls in this chat to like piss Mike off so it sabotages his content production. So we had to resort to like go and leave like and then remove the likes to he knows it, be like irked by that. This is how pathetic they are. Because they worried that yeah, good luck, this video will remain. I've already made it, this video uploaded everywhere. This has the potential to fuck things up for you guys. Okay. But I've already done this video, it's the truth. It's like, okay, too late, okay. You can't sabotage what I've already done in this video. Okay. So anyway, so cool. Every instance that I have discovered of foresight of 9/11 attacks contains this duality opposite pattern. So one movie, Fight Club, they're referencing, hinting at the 9/11 attacks. They show you man and woman look at a controlled demolition of buildings. That's referencing 9/11. And what are they? Opposite sexes, male and female, and they're holding hands, making a Freemason them. Die Hard, another movie containing foresight 9/11 attacks. They have Samuel Jackson and Bruce Willis, black and white, which are opposite colors. See, it's like black and white. Black and white, it's like black and white, it's like duality. See, opposites, extremes, like black and white. Hence, black and white thinking. People think in extremes, right, wrong only, don't see nuances. So it's opposites. So one scene, Samuel Jackson and Bruce Willis, and these two human beings are symbolized in the towers on 9/11. See, opposites, North Tower, South Tower. One man, the white one, symbolizing one tower, and then the other one, the opposite. Do you understand? This is like a decode key, words of wise dark sayings. You don't have anybody else able to do this in the body of Christ because they're all sellouts that I've seen. Fakes, okay? They lack wisdom. They can't perceive the words of the wise dark sayings, and they're not fit to teach or lead, okay? Which why their worst nightmare is a real man of God used by God, enabled by God to actually lead the body of Christ. Shows up that's worst nightmare because like we've been getting people to accept non-leaders as leaders. And then somebody is like, what a leader should be, shows up. Dude, that's the worst nightmare, okay? See, which why Ben Holthaus has to work to sabotage and distract people with me. I made a video like this. Then within a week, it was like, hidden truth, get his live stream. Narcissist identity theft. He has some Andy Woods on. Yeah, we need this guy Andy Woods on our side. Somebody can connect the dots. Not, see, because I've been out here doing that. It's like, we need to get one of the sheer contemplative passages, like, he is what Mike says. See? It's like narcissist identity by proxy. I've seen this all the time. It's like, so it's a lot past, I go live, show some video. Next week, somebody be on Brandon Hope's interview, like, yeah, this guy is connecting the dots about it. Because like, it's like they want to listen to fakes. Like, they pretend to be like me. It's like narcissist identity. No, that's the point. So yeah, um, you know what I would have the authority to do to you, right? And the founding fathers, Brandon and Woods, to the Bible Church, working with the deep state that have done terror on Americans, that have resulted in Americans losing freedoms. Do you know what I would have the more authority right to do to you if I ran into you in the street? Maybe do a citizen arrest and have a tribunal. So you think about that, and you should be thankful that other people can't see what I see in society. But here's the point. So every instance of force out of 9/11 attacks that I've seen contains this duality, opposites, male, female, black and white. And notice how you like little children. It's like, I have to make videos like this. I'm 35. Edward P.F. or Andy Woods, who's been living in America and they're like 50 plus and Bible teachers. They haven't seen this truth. Or they're part of a conspiracy and they help them cover it up. You don't see them like, yeah, okay, here's the world we live in this country. There's a country where you maybe heard about this thing called 9/11, okay? And I can see in Hollywood movies how in this country, in Hollywood movies, they were warning of the attacks before they happen. See? But, notice how it's like the elephant in the room, they're not seeing that, okay? Because if they were doing what I do, that type of person doesn't end up being a pastor. So thankfully, I don't need permission of any of you sellouts in this day and age in the woods. I don't need the permission of Pharaoh. I don't need Pharaoh to dub me Bible teacher. I can make videos teaching the Bible and upload it where I want to, see. I don't need somebody to sign off like the Illuminati Pharaoh wizards. We're letting Mike make videos teaching things. See? So, yeah. Enemies foreign domestic. And you have a lot of domestic enemies in America. You be careful from the inside like a Trojan horse. The real threats, like they sold the world on this in the external, this bearded guys who came to have attacked our country. The whole event was an attack from inside America by the deep state. We want to undermine American values and take freedoms that the founding fathers have really need to stolen that America should have. We need to like attack America. It's like let's create a problem, blame these people, start a war, and take the rights away. So yeah, we need to go. I'm sure Edward P.F. the brainwashed dumb dude, blind idiot, was like, wow, go to war, Iraq, make the glass parking lot. He was most likely one of these people. Edward P.F. Yeah, Bush, go to war, get up. Okay. No wonder God lets you have cancer, you have blood on your hands, you're an anti-American scumbag, bitch. Yeah. So, won't be fooled again. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, 9/11 is still the issue. People are still sick to this. People are living in America being adults, 40 plus, like Ed, and you didn't wake up to this. And it's like, oh, what does it matter, conspiracy theories? Well, it's very relevant. You live in a world where evil psychopaths control the world. They've been known to plan terror attacks and hint in Hollywood movies about terror attacks before they pull them off. And that's what I'm talking about here. Which are just not priced in China. You live in a world where evil psychopaths control your country. They murdered before. They planning to murder again. And they plan major events. Why do you think I can show force out of a pandemic in Hollywood movies just like 9/11? Why don't you make it like it's Ben Holtas, you fake fuck, or Eddie Woods? I don't see, apparently you can't connect the dots. Apparently you can't connect the dots or you would have been able to see this. Okay. Apparently you can't really connect the dots, bitch. Okay. What to make a video like this? Gotta finish up. This is why I'm persecuted, by the way. We got one that can see. And most of you are so weak-brained that even if you watch the whole video, you're still not getting what's being taught. It would be enough for somebody that got like two brain cells up together, that if they see this video, be like, wake up to it. But if somebody's really like fucked up, even if I make time and explain things to you and talk about stuff and give you like data points that are a mind that works and do a little bit of pattern recognition and recall things, we'll be able to be like, I get it now, okay? Most of you are so fucked up that it's like, even if I make the video kind of hint at stuff or teach things more clearly, you're still not getting it. Because you're slaves in the matrix system. And the same people I worked on Plug will fight to defend the system. Which is why people be like, oh my, you crazy paranoid. You're reaching. Yeah, sure. I gotta finish up.